welcome back to the Hacksmith Mechanic channel. Coming to you live from the cabin of the Porsche 996 project. Today we're going to be taking the car to Fix and Go Auto in Plano, Texas. Let's get this straight. Where I'm going to ask them to basically give me a pre-purchase inspection, or in this case, a post-purchase inspection. Just because we really don't know what all's going on with this car. I'm on the highway right now. It's the first time I've driven a car on the highway. First time I've driven more than a couple of miles away from my house. Just because this car is a complete mystery. I don't know what's going on. Now, I have driven the car, you know, quite a bit in the last couple of weeks, but again, just pretty close by. I had to continue to top up the water, the coolant rather, because when I changed one of the hoses and I changed another line, a lot of the coolant came out. I'd fill it up, drive the car, the low coolant light would come on, I'd go back, I'd have to put more coolant in it. The car was never in risk of overheating, but we want to make sure the coolant's topped up. I think we're good now. We're right at our target temperature, about halfway to the shop. No light for coolant, but I think we're going to be okay. A couple of things that I've noticed right here. You can see this is the seal that goes around the windshield, and it is loose, so that's flopping everywhere. This window, this comes loose right here. This door latch, so it comes loose and the window goes down a millimeter because that's how it works when you close it. I do have the latch cable. I got to fix that. Other things, note, I think it drives pretty good. I really don't prefer the automatic portion of the driving because it shifts very early and it starts out in second gear, and I don't love that. So I'm driving this thing in manual, which is actually pretty fun. I kind of enjoy it, and it sounds good, and you get some more revs, so that's good. Brakes feel fine. I will almost guarantee they're going to tell me that the suspension is shot in this car. Just from what I can see, the four shocks look really bad, so I'm almost sure those are shot. I don't really know what else they're going to tell me. They could say that this engine is about to explode, and I would, you know, that would make sense. So really, I just want them to go through the car, tell me everything they can find wrong with it. There might be some stuff we want to fix that we have them fix. There might be stuff that we fix that I can fix. So we're going to ask them to go through the car, tell us everything wrong with it. There might be some things that I fix that I can do. There might be some things that they fix that they can do that's maybe a bit above my pay grade. But really, we just want to get an understanding of what all is going on with this car. So far, we're looking pretty good here. Not been kind of baby in the car. I haven't really got into it, but the AC works. The radio doesn't, but I think there's a fuse in the back to fix that. Overall, I've got to say I'm pretty excited, but and I feel good about the car. I don't know what these guys are going to say, so let's drop it off, find out what's wrong with it, and figure out what we're going to do next. All right, guys, so I've got the car back in the garage. It's been some time since I actually took the car in, but life gets in the way, and so here we are. I'm just now kind of going through this list. So let me tell you everything that's wrong with the car. Again, I took the car to Fix and Go Auto in Plano, Texas, gave him 70 bucks and said, tell me everything wrong with the car so I know what I'm getting myself into. And this is the list they come up with. All right, here we go. First things, struts, shocks are basically done. So those complete replacements, all four corners, total of $2,400. Next up, have a couple of CV boots that need to be replaced. These are not very expensive. Why? You know, the actual CV boot, we're talking 25, 40 bucks, but it's $700 in labor to get these replaced. Total on that one's about $1,000. Next up, the control arms in the front rearward with the ball need to be replaced. That's about $330 in parts, another $210 or so in labor. Also needs alignment, which is you're gonna need that for a couple things. 670 bucks. Oil filler tube is cracked. And so that is $355. That's 250 bucks of labor actually. And the window regulator on the passenger side is not working. $200 for the regulator, $250 for the install. That's $482. And that's where we put us today. So that's $2,400, $3,400, $4,000, $4,400, $4,900. Let's call it just $5,000. So $5,000 for this car to get this back in shape. And then there's also a bit of a ticking noise that I've heard. You guys might have heard it in a previous video. And my mechanic said, you know, I'm not really sure what that is. It could be something from the pistons, but just drive the car around and see if it gets better, if it gets worse, before you go putting a bunch of money into the car. So I've been driving around the car. The noise is the same. It's not really that bad. It's not terribly noticeable. Really only at idle. When you're under gas, everything runs fine. Needless to say, this might be a little bit more of a project that I want to tackle at the moment. I have a few other things going on. So I listed the car for sale, and in literally 15 minutes, I'm about to meet up with somebody who I think is going to buy it. Now, obviously, there's not going to be a lot of money made off this car. It's a bit of a project, and that's kind of how we're selling it. So again, we took it in off the auction for a pretty decent price. It needs some work, and this person is going to be able to take that over and do with it what they please. So really didn't get to enjoy the car that much, just because wasn't quite sure how reliable it was, and I just didn't feel comfortable taking on some massive trip and getting stranded. But it is a pretty cool car nonetheless, and I'm going to keep my eye out for another 996, maybe something a little bit different, something with a 6-speed, maybe something with a convertible, because I don't have one of those. So anyways, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to see what's next. We'll catch you next time.